Right, it's the 12th, 10, 16. I was having a life when I was small. I sometimes was aware that I wasn't Danish, and I also was aware that there was abuse in the growing up surroundings, and there was a massive artistic lifestyle, which is almost on the level as artists in New York or the elite, right? And it seemed like they were into architecture, design, film, TV, music, ballet, books, photos, commercials, horse sport, football, and so on. All of these things, I was very obtained by alpine sport as a child, ice dancing and alpine snow sport. I was crazy about alpine snow sport. So crazy, I almost didn't go to school. I was also a writer, not so crazy about writing. I had some very horrifying experience connected to the film business and connected to crazy horses I've been riding. I always been put on or to train some of the wildest horses. Um, I also was a nature interest. I was always interested in knowing about science and nature stuff and behavior. And when I grew up, I joined USA Forces as 14, I think. And I also began to read a lot about KGB and CIA and Danish intelligence and European history and stuff like that. It's because I had a mission to make the DDR free and to make the communism redrew, like, because I could see it was a historical gap of some kind, because the historical matters of the Nazism, the socialism, and the communism was a kind of necessary rebellion against extortion and slavery, the colonist time, which some people still have a kind of approach on that some people are lower worth than others peoples. For example, right now in Denmark, there's a lot of Eastern workers on the farms, and they're not always treated nicely, and that is completely wrong. Also, we have in Europe a kind of a racistic movement that actually belongs again in Christ times and hostility against losing jobs, losing values. In a way, you could say that it's in a kind of payback time for the colonialism of poor countries, as we said, Africa and the slavery. And actually, you could say that to understand that those times has changed in South Africa and all over the world is maybe difficult. We also have bigger countries as Pakistan, India, and the Arabian countries, which some of them are doing good, better than us actually. The economical drive in China and Pakistan, India is much larger than it is in Europe. So Europe is kind of in a time bubble where they still think they can rule the world with force and use of force or abuse of people and enslavement. And that is not right. I mean, nobody from India, Pakistan, Arabian world or China will put up with this, right? So the attitude of the European and also the European in England and United States has to change. They have to find out that actually the people they meet in Pakistan, India, China is maybe even more educated than they are, maybe more driven of money than they are. So actually, I think when being in Europe, after being part of the communism, I think that some of the problem here is that everybody is banging each other's head all the time. If I go out and say, hey, I actually, beside being a USA to the UN, for example, skilled diplomat, intelligence, but I took some time off to do some other things, horse training, and I took a BA in Bachelor in Design and Pedagogic, and actually those skills is not valued. So actually, we have a system that provides me with three larger skills, but the system again kind of rejected me as a kind of enemy or something. I'm not the enemy. I'm trying to help the Danes right now clearing off their hacker problems, their corruption problems, and so on. They're not ready for it. So I would really like to go in exile in Japan or Canadian or somewhere else because I can do a job and I'm fit for a job. All of this making the investigation of missing person cases, the Clintons case, missing horses, missing making peace is skill, and that's 100% active working. If Denmark chooses to follow misconduct, chooses to make power abuse, corruption, to follow, you could say, a kind of mafia way of doing this, that's their choice. I can't follow that. That's just a short. The video can't be much longer because I think they cut them off or select them. I don't know.